Hey y'all, we have a special celebrity guest. Let's see if you all can figure out who it is.
Man, I love you and your verses, man. You and Nelly, man, y'all did y'all thing, man. Y'all the two I definitely wanted to see the whole time, and man, y'all did that, made a dream come true. And shoot, I would love to get you on the podcast. Me and my wife podcast, Love Logic podcast. We talking about love, life, and a little bit of laughter.
Yo, that was the smoothest transition ever, man. We doing the podcast right now. You need to take the audio from what we got going on, and you can use it. So that's why I'm giving you the floor to ask me some questions, and then you can put it on your podcast.
That's what's Come up, on, man. Well, look, so what advice can you give?
Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. What's up? Another Loveology podcast, man. I hope y'all are having an awesome day. We are. We got some exciting stuff going on. I hope y'all, I don't know. Who is that, babe?
I think you talked to him.
I did talk to him. Who was that, love? Let everybody
did y'all
know.
guess? If y'all haven't guessed it yet, that is the multi-Grammy award-winning, multi-platinum artist and actor Ludacris.
What? Shout out to the big homie.
What you say?
Shout out to the big homie Ludacris, man, for showing Loveology podcast some love, man. We really appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. What's up, baby girl? Are you feeling good about this?
I'm feeling great. Wonderful.
Yeah, Ludacris, man, he dropped some gems about relationships and all that good stuff, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. We will drop a full episode a few days from now, so make sure y'all tune in, stay connected, subscribe. We on all platforms, Spotify, all that good stuff. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You want to stay connected so you can get that notification. Again, we're going to drop the full episode so you guys can hear it a few days from now. We're putting it together. What do you think about that, love?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I can't wait.
Ludacris and other things, he's pushing his new album, Silence of the Lambs. He has a single right now with Lil Wayne, and it's legit. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all heard of it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's also doing something with KidNation.com, and that's KidNation.com. It's about teaching kids to stay clean and safe and healthy, especially during this COVID-19 times. You can submit videos about how you helping your children do that. Go check out KidNation.com to see what he's talking about.
Good stuff. Definitely much needed.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. So we rolling right into this episode. What are we talking about today? Love.
We are continuing our conversation about how to talk about money, which is a very, very important topic, of course. Mm-hmm. So if you're just joining us, you definitely want to check out last week's episode, where we kind of set you up for this episode for sure. And then we also gave some valuable pieces of advice about how to just go about actually having a conversation about money.
Right.
So we're basing this episode off a book called The Heart of Money, A Couple's Guide to Creating the True Financial Intimacy, by Deborah L. Price. Yeah, we talked about this last week. Like I said, you definitely want to check this book out because unfortunately, it is a lot of wonderful, great information. Yeah. But unfortunately, I cannot share all of it with you.
Right.
So some of the stuff that I'm leaving out is kind of, very valuable, and it's like it pains me to leave it out, but it's just so much.
Well,
so
we just giving y'all a little taste. We're gonna give you enough to get by, but if you want to dive a little bit deeper, you got to read the book. That's just like movies, TV shows, all that good stuff. Read the book is to get the source of it from there.
Yeah, because they talked about, kind of she compared it to accounts receivable, like basically discussing these different dynamics between relationships when one person is giving too much and the other person just taking, and one person doesn't want to take because they have a hard time receiving. That was a really interesting part. The common money traps, and she provided some typical tips, some very practical tips on how to avoid those issues. We talked about some of these same money traps actually on our first episode about money, which was episode 6, Coins and Commitment. Go check that out when you have a chance. But however, we are going to talk about how to have conversations about, some of these really big issues, especially if you're dealing with some financial setbacks, such as a job loss or dealing with debt. And we're going to cover some of her strategies that can help you recover from a financial setback, which we know a lot of people in this country may be experiencing.
Worldwide.
Yeah. I saw something on CNN today, and I just wanted to share some of these statistics, which are kind of sad.
What we got? What type of stats we got, love?
So yeah, CNN says that 1 in 4 renters spent more than half of their income in rent in 2018. In 2019, 59% of people say they live paycheck to paycheck. And in March of this year, 40% of people making less than $40,000 a year lost their job. So this means this is like a bad financial situation going on. 40% of people.
And that was in March. So
yes, in March.
It's probably more now because more people are filing for unemployment and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's millions of people that file for unemployment. So people have lost their job. And so we just wanted to talk about this important topic. The segment was about not having affordable housing, right? So, our government has done, the stimulus packages and stuff, but they were calling for the government to stop rent, basically, because people aren't allowed to work. So how can they pay the rent, right? So, unfortunately, we don't know what the government is going to do. So we have to, like I said in the last episode, we have to try to figure out how to help ourselves, right? And how to, just try to make the best out of what we can, right? So last episode, we mentioned that Jason and I were going to be taking a quiz. Yes. So
the quiz is awesome, y'all. I encourage everybody to pay attention and go and take this quiz. I mean, it's just shed a whole bunch of light on a lot of things.
Right. Absolutely. So Price identifies 8 money types. She's come up with 8 money types.
It's kind of like the love languages. You take this quiz and it kind of show who you are,
Well, so
kind of.
Okay. So basically, she reiterates twice in her book that she don't want you to think that this is your personality. It is just a system that offers a simple way to identify and understand your patterns and behaviors relative to money. So you can change your money type. This is just where you are. And I think the reason why she said this is because some of the names that she named these types are kind of triggering, right? It triggered Jason a little bit, and we'll talk about that some more. So basically, Jason and I took this quiz. The category in which you have in which we had the highest numbers, that indicated our primary money type. A score of 5 or more in a category indicated, these active money types, right? If it was 4 or less, that represents a passive money type. While the passive money types are generally not present or active in your daily life, they can be triggered and become active during stress or when you feel anxious or fearful about money. So a time like this, right? When we're stressed, anxious, and fearful about money, those passive ones can come to light. So we're going to go over our money types.
Let's go. I'm excited.
So the money types are this. We have innocent, victim, warrior, martyr, fool, creator, artist, tyrant, and the magician. So let's do Jason first.
Why you want to do me first?
Because I love it.
Yeah.
I think you guys heard last week. Jason said, well, I hope I'm not the fool,
Yeah.
He's not the fool, but he got a little sprinkle of fool.
Got a little sprinkle of fool in it.
Yes. But
sometimes you got to splurge a little bit, and that's basically what a fool basically. But go for it.
We'll read the description.
We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, we'll read the description. But the great thing about Jason is that you're the magician.
Mm-hmm.
Your first primary one that
Got
you
the
scored
most
the
points.
highest on
The highest.
was magician.
And that's what you want to be. But we'll talk more about it. Go ahead.
Right. So warrior was your next highest score.
Mm-hmm.
The fool.
That's Air Force Warriors.
The fool, and then creator artist.
Mm-hmm.
Creator artist. Okay, so let's talk about what each one of these mean for Jason and myself, because I'm in marital bliss with him.
And Ashley is just so excited about this because she, she does very well with money. She's very frugal.
Mm-hmm.
No, so spoiler alert, she has no fool in her, right? But she's happy because this is gonna help, mend our minds together on finances. This is really gonna accelerate us on finances and how we manage money together as a team.
Right.
So this is important. So, listen in.
So let's go with Jason's first one. The magician is the ideal money type.
Hold up.
We gotta let that sink in, huh?
Yeah, magician, man. It's the ideal money type, man.
Yes. Using a new and ever-changing set of dynamics in both the material and spirit worlds, magicians know how to transform and manifest their own financial reality.
Man, what you said? I know how to transform and manifest money, basically.
Yes. At our best, when we are willing to claim our own power, we are all magicians. Magicians are fully awake and aware of themselves and the world around them. They are armed with knowledge of the past, have made peace with their personal history, and understand that their power exists in their ability to see and live the truth of who they are. Magicians show that their ability to manifest lies with their higher power. With faith, love, and patience, the magician simply waits in certainty with the knowledge that all our needs are met all the time. Magicians embrace the inner life as the place of spiritual wealth and the outer life as the expression of enlightenment in the material world. Maybe I should just read the characteristics. Do you want to read all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, some of the characteristics of the magician, spiritual, wise, conscious, unattached, trusting, generous, loving, fluid, lives in the present, powerful, optimistic, confident, compassionate, open to flow, financially balanced. All right, man, that sounds so awesome.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like me, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, until that food come out, but okay.
Let's sprinkle every now and then.
Okay, Jason's next one was the warrior. The warrior sets out to conquer the money world and is generally seen as successful in business and financial worlds. You just loving this, aren't you?
Come on, man. Come on.
Warriors
Give me some more.
Warriors are adept investors, focused, decisive, and in control. Although warriors will listen to advisors, they will make their own decisions and rely on their own instincts and resources to guide them. The world is filled with warrior types, from those who are free allies and collaborators to those for whom money making is a form of competition and sport. Characteristics of the warrior type: powerful, driven, loyal, competitive, disciplined, goal-oriented, financially successful, confident, calculating, generous, rescuer, wise, discerning. Okay.
Amen.
What was the next one? Fool?
Let's
Ready for this one?
Can we read that last? Creative.
Let's do that one. The fool plays by a different set of rules altogether, a gambler by nature. The fool is always looking for a windfall by taking financial shortcuts. Even though the adage, a fool and his money are soon parted, may have some truth, fools often win because they are willing to throw the dice. They are willing to take chances.
7.
An adventurer at heart, the fool gets caught up in the enthusiasm of the moment, caring little for the details. Fools are relatively fearless in their endeavors and remain internal optimists regardless of their circumstances. In this regard, fools are like warriors because they always seem to land on their feet and are not easily defeated. The fool is much more interested in making money as a sport or form of recreation than a serious endeavor. The fool does possess some rather remarkable qualities that, if mastered, make him or her quite capable of becoming a money magician. The fool lives very much in the moment and is quite attached to future outcomes. A fool pursues mostly for the simple pleasure of the pursuit. Many of us can learn from the characteristics of the fool. However, key point. Until fools become enlightened, they will continue to attract money easily, only to have it quickly slip through their fingers because they are simply not paying attention.
But what if I'm enlightened already? I just don't like that title. I'm not a fool, and she should have just called it a gambler instead of a fool.
That could have been a good yes. type. I like that name. So yes, clearly nobody likes to be called a fool, and we just listed a lot of very qualities about it. But some of the characteristics of the fool can be relentless, undisciplined, financially irresponsible, impetus, optimistic, overly generous, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, lives for today. So do you see how too much of that could cause some problems?
But a little bit. That's like my third one. That's not my top one. It's not my second one.
It's still active though. It's not passive.
But long as if you become enlightened, you're good.
Yeah, you on the road to becoming the magician all the way.
I'm already
24/7, but 24/7. We gotta knock it out.
Okay, we're gonna knock it out.
Get that out of there.
Get a little bit of that fool out of me.
Last one for Jason was the creator artist. The creator artists are on a spiritual, creative, and artistic path. They often find living in the material world difficult and frequently have a conflicted love-hate relationship with money. They love money for the freedom it buys them, but would prefer not to have to sell themselves or their gifts in order to make a living. The creator artist often overly identifies with the interior world and may even resent or despise those who are wealthy. Their negative beliefs about money and materialism only block them from the very freedom they so desire. Creator artists most fear being inauthentic or not being true to themselves. Creator artists are the most conflicted about money of all the archetypes, which can sabotage their ability to manifest it. Too many people on the creative artist path feel that money is bad or lacking in spirituality. To the extent that creative artists maintain this belief system, they are limiting themselves and creating a block to the flow of money. The creator artists who work to integrate the spiritual with the material world will find a solution to their financial struggles. Since they have spent much of their time and attention on their inner journey, the creative artists already possess many of the qualities necessary to become money magicians. This money type most needs to accept the outer world and embrace its many dimensions to stop suffering from the tension they feel between the spiritual and material worlds. They must learn to embrace both worlds as part of their own duality.
A duality, that sounds like Gemini. Shout out to Geminis out there. It's Gemini season. Oh, wow. Shout out to the Geminis.
Characteristics of the creator artist type: highly artistic and are spiritual, passive, internally motivated, detached, non-materialistic, visionary, truth seeker.
All of
that. That's what you are.
Yes. So that's a pretty dope makeup.
I think so.
Even with the fool, you know what I'm saying? It's still a pretty dope makeup, because the key thing about that fool is once you become enlightened, and I feel like I've become enlightened. And so therefore, I'm all right.
Yes. Well, no, we still got some work. We
got a little work to do.
Yeah, we got some work to do. All right, so ready for mine, you guys?
Yeah, let's hear yours. Luckily, you have. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I am also magician. I am also warrior.
But they not 1 and 2 like that. Well, yours is 1 and 2.
Yes.
But I had more points in magician and I had more points in warrior.
Yeah, I'm a woman. We're more complex, right? So I actually have like 5 categories that are my primary ones, and you have 4.
Okay.
So my points went to that one. Okay. So my first one was magician. Second one was warrior. The next one was creator artist. So as I was reading that, the creator artist one, definitely with the love-hate relationship with money was definitely something that I dealt with. If I hadn't dealt with that, that probably would have been higher
Mm.
on the list.
Mhm.
But like she said, your money type can change. So the next one that I had was martyr.
Yeah.
And the last one was innocent.
Well, they didn't hear about the martyr or the innocent. Let's hear what they talking about.
All right, the martyr. Martyrs are so busy taking care of others' needs that they often neglect their own. Financially speaking, martyrs genuinely do more for others than they do for themselves. They often rescue others, such as a child, spouse, friend, or relative, from their financial circumstances or life choices. However, martyrs' gifts may have strings attached, and if so, they may repeatedly feel let down when others fail to meet their expectations. The strongest indicator of the martyr is self-sacrifice and an unconscious attachment to his or her suffering. Controlling, these are the characteristics. Controlling, feels underappreciated, long-suffering, difficulty receiving, caretaker, self-sacrificing, disappointed, rescuer, perfectionist, resentful, passive-aggressive, compassionate, and wise. There's a lot of negative stuff going on.
Yeah.
But a lot of positive stuff too, though, because you like to give to people, but just too much, you know, to the point of
beat across your head.
Yeah.
They beat you for your money. Run off on the plug.
Yes. Martyrs tend to be perfectionists and have high expectations of themselves and others, which makes them quite capable of realizing their dreams because they put so much energy into being right. Martyrs who are willing to do their own spiritual work to heal their wounds have the capacity to become gifted healers and powerful manifestors.
Awesome. So really, food, I'd rather be a food than a martyr.
Why? But I love to give to the world.
Hey, man, I love to give too, but, they have some balance.
Okay, my last one was the innocent. So let's talk about that one.
Okay.
The innocent takes the ostrich approach to money matters. Innocents often live in denial, burying their heads in the sand where money is concerned, which just doesn't sound like me at all.
Well, it was your lowest one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, there it is.
Since innocents are easily overwhelmed by financial information, they usually rely heavily on the advice of opinions of others.
Mm-hmm.
Since innocents are easily overwhelmed by financial information, they usually rely heavily on the advice and opinions of others. Innocents are perhaps the most trusting of all the money types because they so greatly want to be rescued and taken care of that they do not see others for who they truly are. Innocents are childlike in the sense that they have not yet learned how to judge or discern other people's motives or behaviors. While this trait can be endearing, it is also precarious for an adult trying to cope in the real world. We all start out our journey in life as innocents. However, as we grow and develop, most of us shed the veil of innocence and replace it with the discernment gained through experience. The innocent's goal is safety at all costs, and they often have a fear of abandonment. Characteristics are trusting, indecisive, happy-go-lucky externally, fearful or anxious internally, financially dependent, non-confrontational, feels powerless, represses feelings and beliefs, seeks security.
That's a lot. That's
Yes.
a mouthful.
So let's go ahead and cover the last one, the victim, which I am not. But let's just cover the last one.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it? No. No? Okay. Well, we'll talk about it later on.
Yeah. Well, if you're a victim out there, go check it out.
Yeah. So, yes, those are our money types. I'm happy that I am married to a magician / warrior / fool / because like I said, the fool does have a lot of remarkable qualities.
Right.
So I don't like to take risks. I am safe. So that is why innocent is probably in there. That's probably where that is. So it's great to be partnered with someone who is willing to take risk and things like that.
And that's why opposites attract. Sometimes you want that polar opposite sometimes, you know what I'm saying, to get a different perspective on certain situations. So, by us being together, I know we ran across when, was it two magicians be together or two warriors, what they talk about? You gonna get into that later?
No, I wasn't, but
Yeah, let's talk about it. I thought that was pretty awesome.
when two warriors get together.
Is it two warriors?
Yeah, it was. So she also had common partnerships like between the money types because a lot of times
So basically two fools be together.
Ooh,
Y'all, she said y'all gonna end up bankrupt. So
she said you can have a lot of fun, but you just have to be careful.
you're gonna be broke.
Not necessarily.
She said you're gonna end up bankrupt. That's broke. But it said two warriors. What happens with them?
So yes, warrior is a common pairing of the two types. In this pairing, which is fairly uncommon in my experience, this is the author speaking, the two warriors would most likely be viewed as a power couple.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
This means they are both highly financially goal-oriented, are strong earners, and are great at making and growing their money. The only downside is that they may become competitive with each other or may both want to lead, which can cause friction and possible intimacy issues.
That's true.
Yes, because Jason just finally admitted, that I am better at managing money.
Sometimes you gotta give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying?
But he's better at acquiring it.
Yes.
That's what we have settled on.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
It works for us.
It works.
So yes, we did have that, little, we want to take the lead. And I'm just like, dude, I'm better than you, man. Dude,
See, she can't
why
be talking
can't
to
you?
me like that. See, that's gonna be another
Why can't
3
you
years.
just accept it? Jeez.
You can't. You got to be open when you talking to your man. Watch out for the ego. Males have egos, so it's just part of it. So kind of be gentle when you're talking about finances and you're better than them and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the main thing, we talked about why understanding the types are important in the last episode. We'll just briefly say this again. The main thing about understanding the types are important is because if you know this information, it helps you communicate with your partner better.
Right.
And like she said, some of the passive types that are in you, they come out during stressful times,
right.
possibly. So another one that we didn't discuss was the tyrant, right?
Right.
So the tyrant becomes like a little bit more controlling, which I scored low on tyrant, but it was still there, right? So understanding that as a person that likes to be safe when it comes to financial decisions, if you start making bad financial decisions, then a little tyrant may come out of me. I might get a little bit controlling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not bring me this money.
Right.
Bring it to me because you tripping over here, right? So, and I may get a little upset, right? So just understand.
You got to calm you down. You got to calm down, baby girl.
Right. So just being able to
watch your tone.
Okay, Jason, we get it. So understanding it is so important, especially in a time like this when we all could be dealing with some financial issues, right? And then understanding these different types. If you are falling into a victim mindset or a victim type, we want to call on the warrior, right? We want to know what the warrior type is, and we want to do that.
Right.
So that kind of leads me into my next point. Basically, yes, if you could be a victim in this, we are all victims of the coronavirus.
Right.
So if you find yourself in the victim, role, you just need to say, nope, I'm not playing the victim role. I'm gonna pull out the warrior.
Right. Pay attention to some of those characteristics and just do them.
Right. Exactly. So this is the first tip that she gives when she talks about overcoming financial challenges and setbacks. Beware of the victim.
Okay. Beware of it.
Yes.
Why?
The victim money type tends to live in the past and blame his or her financial woes on external factors. Passive aggressive, prone to expressing their feelings in indirect rather than direct ways. In nature, victims may appear outwardly as innocent because they seem so powerless and want others to take care of them. However, this appearance is often an unconscious pattern developed to get others to do for them what they refuse to do for themselves. Victims generally have a litany of excuses for why they are not more financially successful, which are based on their historical mythology. That is not to say that bad things haven't happened to victims. More often than not, victims have been abused or betrayed or have suffered some great loss. The problem is that they have never processed their pain, acknowledged their part, or taken responsibility for the present. Victims are always looking for someone to rescue them because they feel an underlying sense of entitlement as compensation for their suffering. Characteristics are prone to blaming others, highly emotional, lives in the past, financially irresponsible, seeks to be rescued, resentful, unforgiving, addictive, lives out a self-fulfilling prophecy, and feels powerful. So you don't want to feel like that, do you?
No.
Right? So that's what she means when she says beware of the victim, money type. So again, even though we may be indeed all the victims of COVID-19, this situation maybe had no situation with you losing your job and things like that. We want to call that warrior archetype, become focused, determined, and proactive. A quote from her book is, action is always the antidote to fear and overcoming our financial challenges. Okay, so she shares some of the best tips for couples who may be in financial distress. First thing is stay present and calm.
Okay.
How do you stay present and calm in a situation, with this?
You're going to be present, and present is just really understanding what's going on around you, right? And
you may not be present. You may be escaping into TV. You may be escaping into with drinking,
So they say stay present. So, pay attention what's going on, just stay present in what's going on right now.
Yes.
Stay calm. You don't have to. It ain't about how things react to you. It's about how you react to them. So,
absolutely,
you can react to it differently by just staying calm and staying present, and just hey, put together a plan.
Absolutely, I agree. So one of the tips on how to stay calm is meditation. Do you meditate, honey?
I sure do. Because I'm enlightened.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So she gave an exercise that you can do in your shower where you can just step into the shower and imagine that the water is healing water, things like that.
And here's the thing for people that don't know, meditation doesn't have to be, all this, it doesn't have to be complex. Meditation can be just simply clearing your mind.
Yeah, it's just sitting and still and sitting in quiet.
Yeah. So, because, your subconscious is constantly working. Right? And your conscious is constantly working when you're watching TV, when you're on the phone. That's not clearing your mind. Mm-hmm. Clearing your mind is closing your eyes and literally thinking about nothing, giving your brain a break. So you can meditate in a lot of different ways. You can meditate in the shower. You can meditate in the bed. You can just basically take some time, 15 minutes, and clear your mind. Do you know that I'm gonna add this too? Do you know that around 7 hours after you wake up, your body goes into kind of a dip shutdown mode? That's why towards the early evening you get tired, right? Mm-hmm. So if you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you can expect around, I say about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you're going to feel a little drowsy, right? Mm-hmm. That's important. That's a good time to meditate and just take a quick 15 minutes, close your eyes. If you're at the office, close your door. If you don't have a door, you're at a cubicle, man, go to your car and just close your eyes and just relax.
Yeah,
don't listen to music, none of that, right? So that's a tip on meditation. It'll help recharge your batteries real fast so you can attack the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Great advice. Okay. And then at first, when I was reading the visualization part, I was like, oh, okay. But actually, I did this when I was having my babies because I had natural births, which is a lot of pain involved. And but I took classes and stuff before I had the babies, and they told us to do a visualization of waves washing up on the shore and just, when the contraction hit, imagine that part is the wave hitting the shore, and then as it releases, that's the wave drawing back into the ocean, right? So I definitely did that. So visualization works. So
it definitely works. Y'all better get with the program. If you're not doing some of these things, it can really elevate your status in life. Not necessarily. I mean, all types of things, but it's not necessarily. We talking about money. That don't necessarily mean it's going to upgrade your cash flow, but it could.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So to calm yourself, just thinking of calm, placing yourself in, serene sort of environments like a beach, the woods or something like that. That stuff works. And I think also the Calm app, I think that you can, use it for free right now because of everything that's going on.
Nice.
So just, check some things out like that.
Dropping them gems.
One of the other tips is release the past. We only have today. Okay. So yeah, COVID came in and messed up everything. We can't do nothing about that. Let's just focus on the present, right? Like you said.
And just to add this, Ludacris talked about that also in our bonus. We're gonna throw that bonus episode. He talked about forget about the past. Let go of the past.
Exactly.
The only way you can understand life is see it in reverse. I said, oh yeah, that was dope.
Oh, he dropping them bars, right? Be resourceful. Reach out to help is another tip. I just love, living in LA, and I love the entrepreneurial sort of spirit. Be resourceful. There's a local pizza place. They just drove by today, actually. They have a recording, a blowhorn, whatever.
You know how the ice cream man come by and he plays the song, and kids know, adults know. It's ice cream.
Yeah.
Right? But the pizza man, they did it. They flipped it.
They gotta get creative up in here. Yes. Yeah. Adapt and overcome.
Yes.
They are, just basically have like a recording that everyone can hear as they drive by saying, hey, we got cheese pizza. We got pepperoni pizzas for $7, right?
Come on outside.
Come outside and come copy
Come
one.
get this pizza. Look, and I get excited every time I hear it. I can't trust it right now. I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
I can't trust it right now. But later on though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get to coming by with that pizza, I'm gonna have to grab it.
Right.
It's already delivered. Think about it, y'all.
Yeah.
And so you gotta think about stuff like that. Sometimes you gotta do stuff that you've never done before, right? And sometimes when you do that, you get results that you never had.
Exactly.
Right? All it is stepping outside the box.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Success leaves clues. So pay attention to the successful people, what they're doing, and mimic them.
Right. Exactly. So again, being resourceful, reaching out to help, finding, information that you need to get this money, you know what I'm saying? Get this bag. So, do that for sure. Develop a spiritual practice. Hey man, listen, we need to pray just to make it today. Like MC Hammer.
We got to pray just to make it today. I say we pray. I heard that.
Get still, listen to yourself. As Christians, we believe in the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is in us, guiding us, giving us spiritual guidance. And she said in the beginning of her book that she acknowledges, all spiritualities, and so she just used words like the creator, the source, whoever whoever that may be for you, know.
If
but
it's you, it's you.
Yeah,
if that's what you feel.
Yes,
it's all that.
Yeah, so we praying up in here.
Just know it's some type of outside force other than your physical, right?
Right.
That can assist.
Yeah, if you have those beliefs, right? So, but yes, the spiritual practice is very key in my life. It definitely keeps me calm. Prayer is definitely, a very, 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 very important thing. Okay.
Right.
The next thing she talked about was how to avoid reactive behaviors. We want to be proactive, not reactive. So staying positive. For me, prayer definitely helps with that. But in your relationship, it can definitely help a lot, right? Sometimes maybe you may have to be the positive one. Maybe your spouse just having a day, or your partner's just having a day, and you got to be the positive one. So, let's just, keep each other uplifted, right? Support one another was another thing that she talked about. This may seem simple, but she also said, don't discuss money issues first thing in the morning or before going to bed. I used to tell Jason this all the time, y'all, but he didn't want to honor. He didn't want to honor it. Why you act like you can't talk?
I did honor it, babe.
I'm like, who wants to talk about money first thing in the morning? And I'm a morning person.
Money on my mind. Money on my mind. Money is all I can think of. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to talk about money first thing in the morning. Hey, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about this. This is hard conversation.
I'm a magician, man. So
I'm a magician
talk
too.
about money.
Listen. she probably a magician too, because she worked for Merrill Lynch and all this other stuff. And she say don't talk about money first thing in the morning, I'm gonna believe what she says.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's all about what your partner says. So if my partner don't want to talk about money in the morning, that's fine. I don't talk about money in the morning. And I did stop talking about money in the morning.
You did.
Right.
But you will always be like, well, I can't say nothing because you don't like to talk about. You kind of throw a little salt. You know what I'm saying? You don't like to talk about money in the morning. No, I don't. You're absolutely right. And any sane person don't want to talk about money in the morning either. Okay.
Well, it is what it is. When money's on your mind and you got plans to make millions, guess what? Sometimes you gotta talk about it first thing in the morning. But I feel you. I respect your wishes, love.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm hoping that y'all taking some notes because I'm about to hit y'all rapid fire. Like I'm about to hit y'all with a whole bunch of information. Okay, strategies to recover from financial setbacks.
Oh, come on.
Here goes some strategies. Okay, so first strategy. Kind of going back to being resourceful. She gives a resource if you're heavily in debt and you need some help. This organization is called the American Consumer Credit Counseling, and it's a nonprofit organization that can help you get back on track. And the website is www.consumercredit.com. I checked out the website and it seems great. It seems great. Like, you got some counselors. She said you do want to be sure that you go to a reputable place because there's a lot of frauds out here. So this is a reputable place. Another organization she gave out was National Foundation for Credit Counseling, to locate a certified credit counselor in your area. The website was www.nfcc.org. So these are people who know what they're talking about, and they're here to help.
Right.
Right. And there's no harm in asking for help, because the reality is a lot of us did not learn how to manage our finances.
Sure did.
We just didn't
Didn't learn. And the harm comes when you don't ask for help.
Exactly.
That's what you're harming yourself, not nobody else, and your partner.
Exactly.
So you definitely want to get some type of assistance. We all could use, some assistance here and there, and it's okay. We're not gonna blame our parents either, because our parents only had a limited source of information, and their parents only had a limited source of information, and their parents came out of slavery. So
exactly, and that's why she said that it's so hard to break out of poverty, right? Because most of the time we just learn patterns from our parents, and it's not necessarily their fault, right? But they didn't have the opportunity to learn. Like we have in this time, you and I have way more opportunity to learn more about finances than our grandmother or mother did, right?
Yes.
Is we just have so many more. The internet. My grandmother didn't have the internet.
Right.
So we just have so much more to be able to go outside of our situation and be able to find more information about it, right? Communication is always important. So she says that the most financial differences that couples have are due to failure to effectively communicate their needs, fears, and grievances that tend to accumulate over time. Learn to talk openly and calmly and without blame. So this is why we're doing these 2 episodes, right? Definitely using the knowledge that you have about your patterns and your money types to help you have these conversations. Find your way back to your true needs and values. Sometimes we just need to sit down and align our values on what we want to spend money on and how we want to go about spending our money.
Right.
Okay. She goes on to talk about, give some more. I mean, this book's just full of gems, y'all. She goes on to talk about coping with debt. You first need to understand that you are not your debt. Your debt represents where you are financially, not who you are. Why do we get so emotional? Well, we talked about it already, but why do we, feel so bad about this? It's like, no, sometimes these things happen and we can change it. It's not who we are. Right.
And just to piggyback on that real quick, because when you get down and out, people start fooling with you. People think that you're not as creative anymore. They feel like you don't look good anymore. They feel like, you're not trustworthy, but you still have all these qualities. You just, probably made a mistake, or something happened externally to you that caused your finances to drop. So, I had got a good friend that had some finances, his finances dropped, and, people just looked down on him. But I'm like, I never treated him differently because I knew who he was.
Exactly.
And he came up and he's back on top and people fool with him again. So it's just how it is.
It's just so sad though. It's so sad. We shouldn't be like that. Right?
No, we shouldn't, but it's just what it is.
Yeah. So if you have feelings, this is another tip that she gave. If you have feelings of guilt or shame associated with being in debt, work on forgiving yourself. Mm-hmm. We had we didn't talk about forgiveness of forgiving yourself, but we had an episode about forgiveness. Release the past. The past is history, and you can choose to do it differently moving forward, right?
Yes, sure can. And sometimes you can rewrite your history.
Find ways to cut back and simplify your life personally and financially. We got to live within the means, y'all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. How you like that? Oh.
Okay. Moving right along.
So yes, next tip was making a spending plan. I don't like to call it a budget anymore because it's, budget got such a negative.
So square. It's so, getting in line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's the word again? Spending what?
Spending plan.
Spending plan.
Because that's what it is. You're just making a plan for your money.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not to restrict you. It's just to know where your money is going, keep track of it.
Spending plan.
And plan on how you're going to spend it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like that better.
So that's got to happen. Got to. You can't I don't think you can get out of debt without having that, right?
I mean, you can get out of debt without having a spending plan. Well, you're just probably going to get right back in debt.
Probably. Basically, in order to be able to do a spending plan properly, you need to sit down and make a list of all your obligations, your financial obligations. This can be really hard, right? Mm-hmm. Again, this is when that shame and guilt can come in, right? Because like, dang, wow, I didn't even know.
Right.
But you got to know where you are. It's like losing weight, Mm-hmm. You can't, how can you set a goal and make a plan for something and you don't know where you're beginning?
Right.
So definitely got to make that happen. There are so many resources. Just Google spending plan. There are so many resources out here to be able to get yourself, a spending plan together. Right.
Right.
She gave some more tips, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to another category, which is coping with job loss and unemployment, because we just really want to help as many people as possible. Mm-hmm. So first thing is avoid negativity. Take a break from negative news and media. Even though the job market is tight, many companies are still hiring. All you got to do is Google.
Yeah.
Google.
It's a lot of companies like Twitter, Instagram, they are allowing their workers to work from home forever. Mm-hmm. Forever.
Oh, forever.
Forever.
Who is this?
Twitter is doing that.
Awesome.
And so as other companies are following, right? I think Google. So, what that's going to do, that's a chain reaction. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of companies right now are hiring people for customer service, and you can work at your home right now. Right.
Yes.
So definitely take advantage if you lost your job. And I know if you're getting unemployment, they probably gonna stay on unemployment because they making money.
Right? Are they? I didn't think they were making their full paychecks.
Man, a lot of these cats making more money on unemployment than they was at their job. That's why when they open them back up, people like, shoot, I'm not going back to work. I'm on unemployment. So hopefully, we can get this unemployment number down. But, if you're looking for a job, man, just search for it. You don't have to be in an LA to get an LA based job or a New York based job. You can be in middle of America like Arkansas, Brinkley, Arkansas.
Right.
And you can work in New York or LA. So definitely go check that out.
Yes, I did a quick Google search and I just Googled companies hiring during COVID-19, and there was at least, so many came up, right? Mm-hmm. It was 90. It was like a list of 93 that I found, in 10 seconds, right? So Another tip she gives is reconnecting with family members. Like if you're on the job search and friends and on former businesses, so maybe they know of some possibilities. Review your skills and talents. She suggests if you having like a self-esteem problem because you've lost your job, I can understand how it can be a big self-esteem hit. She has this exercise where you sit down and in order to rebuild your self-esteem, make a list of all your life highlights and achievements from elementary school. You will be surprised. Like, I've done so much stuff. I forget all the time, all the stuff that I've done. And you are the same way. You probably have done so many things and you're just not even thinking about it.
Right.
You have no idea. So just make sure that, you keep your self-esteem up, right? Pay attention to how you're spending your time. It's the most valuable asset. Be proactive in your job search. Get support from a coach or a counselor. This is a really big one. Create consistent self-care habits. Make sure you eat well, exercise, take walks, pray, meditate, get plenty of sleep. I know it's,
Drink you some water.
Drink some water. Do not use too much caffeine or alcohol. All right. What
about the marijuana? You can use. She say nothing about that. She said, I don't know.
Very important. Don't isolate yourself. This is hard while we're self-isolating, right?
Right.
But, use technology.
FaceTime.
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes. And you can meet up with a person, but stay 6 feet away,
Sure
right?
can.
Like, y'all can look at each other.
Drive-by way.
Yeah.
Drive-by chit-chat.
Yeah.
Get out the house.
Exactly.
What up, man?
Exactly. There's still some things that you can do. So, again, for the sake of time, just so much information in this book. I wish I can give it all to you, but it's just a lot.
It is a lot. So make sure y'all go check out the book. What's the book called again, babe?
The Heart of Money.
The Heart of Money. Make sure y'all go check that out. You can get digital copies, all that good stuff. It's a lot of information. If you want to step your game up in the financial world, if you want to be the boss bee or whatever you want to call yourself, then you got to take some of those proper steps. And even if you are a boss bee already, there's nothing wrong with stepping up a little bit another level. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do. I can't wait to get started on this metamorphosis that we're gonna go through. But it's gonna be fun.
Yes, it is. So there was one other thing that she talked about earlier in the book that I really wanted to talk about, because I think that this can be very, very helpful. When I was talking about like the conflict that I used to have about money, I think that it came from hearing the phrase, money is the root of all evil. But that's actually not correct.
Not correct. No, it's not correct.
But it's a very popular phrase. It's a scripture in the Bible. But the scripture actually says the love of money.
Love of money. Gotta get that money, man.
The love of money is the root of all evil. So it is very important to make that distinction, right? Distinction, because love of money is about sacrificing everything for the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like just doing everything just to get money.
And if you go ahead,
your money itself is just not bad, but if you kill, steal, and destroy to get it, right? Now we got some problems.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to deal with that, and I read the Bible and for myself and saw that, and I was like, oh my God. No, they've been leaving out this very important word, and this is very serious, you know? So I think for a long time, I did have a negative, feelings about money, and I am a creator artist too.
Right.
So I do wish that we didn't, I do still feel unattached to money, and wish we kind of didn't need it, but it is what it is. I'm not trying to use it to buy happiness, but like we said in the last episode, it is a tool to get what we need, right?
Right.
But it's not what makes us happy.
Right.
Right. So she did something called a mindful money clearing affirmation.
Okay.
And also, I think this is important too, because if you come from a disadvantaged background, sometimes you don't feel like you can ever get out of that situation, and you just don't feel hopeful about money. So I really like this affirmation, because I think that it could help you feel better about it and feel better about your ability to get more money, right? So, our thoughts are very powerful. They're learning more and more about just how powerful our thoughts are. So that's the last reason why I feel like it's important. So here is the mindful money clearing affirmation. I cleanse my mind of any and all negative thoughts and associations about money. I accept money as a positive force and ally in my life. Right? I release and forgive all my past mistakes around money. I release and forgive my partner's mistakes as well. I accept responsibility for myself and my financial well-being. I believe that we live in an abundant universe and that this abundance is available to us right here and right now. I release any obstacle, doubt, or limitation that exists in my mind. I am free of the illusion of lack. Right?
Powerful.
I know there is more than enough. I have enough. I am enough. I am willing and ready to receive financial grace and abundance with ease, openness, and a grateful heart.
It's harvest season.
Amen.
Hey,
Amen.
I like that. Woo! Let's go.
Yes. So she ends her book with a whole chapter about how couples can create a rich and financially empowering relationship. A lot of that is by doing what we have already discussed, and then do some, visioning board sort of work.
Right.
I'll leave y'all to it, right?
Right.
To do it. It's mostly an exercise about envisioning the life that you want for yourself and your partner.
Awesome
But it all
sauce.
boils down to being able to communicate and talk and
Some trust in there.
yes, and trust and get through these tough times together.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all for me, Jason.
That's it. That's all. Well, man, I definitely appreciate you, love, for taking the time to research and find that book and read what you needed to read to put together this episode, these last 2 episodes on money and all that good stuff, man. And so I just want to let everybody know that we're going to do a live discussion on Wednesdays. We're going to talk about it, and we may be changing the format up a little bit. So make sure you stay tuned in and looking up. But that's going to be on Facebook Live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you got questions on anything, make sure you hit us up. Email us at loveologypodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support us and, you feel like, hey, y'all doing a good job, man, I like what y'all doing. I want to support you guys because we're trying our best to help the public, help as many people across many nations as we can. And you can help support us. You can do it financially. You can do it by going to loveologypodcast.com. Find that button where it says Patreon, become a Patreon, and you can become a Patreon and you can subscribe from there. Pick your tier and join us. If you want to, donate and, you don't want to do Patreon, we can do PayPal. We can either do Cash App as well. PayPal is just loveologypodcast@gmail.com. And then Cash App is the money sign, loveologypodcast.
Yes.
So again, man, I appreciate everybody. If you don't forget that special episode of Ludacris, me and Ludacris, it's going to be a bonus episode. We're going to be releasing it in a couple of days. So make sure you stay tuned, stay following, stay connected. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff, because you don't want to be the last person to hear that episode. It's going to be live. We'll talk more about how it happened and all that good stuff, but it's a quick interview. But it was awesome. So we had a good time. Hope y'all had a good time. Any last words for our loveologists out there?
No, I'm just second what you said. Excited to hear what Ludacris has to say.
Luda!
Get out the way. No.
Hey. And, we also have, the biker shorts. We have biker shorts and full-length yoga pants on loveologypodcast.com. So they just right in time for the summer. So you can go ahead and, ladies, you can, look real nice with the biker shorts on and get comfortable with the yoga pants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
what?
Guess what?
What, babe? What you got?
We got a trademark.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Did we shout that out? I don't think.
no, we didn't.
I don't think we shout that out. Okay, so if you follow us on social media, if you're our patrons, you already know this. But for all the other listeners that don't know, we definitely got our trademark in. So Loveology Podcast is definitely a registered trademark. So don't try to use our stuff when we coming after you. But yeah, man. So definitely, it took a long time to get that accomplished, and hey, we got it in.
Yes, and we also wanted to shout out Nigeria.
Hey, what up? What it is? What it do? Nigeria, what up?
We want to shout you guys out because we were number 4 on the Apple Podcast in the relationship category.
So shout out to y'all.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all for
it,
listening.
Nigeria. Thank y'all for listening. We was on the charts as well for the UK.
Yeah, UK, y'all stay representing. Y'all, you know.
Appreciate it, UK. You know, we're going to come up there and holler at y'all. We're going to come to Nigeria. All that. We're going to do all that. So, man, definitely continue to listen. I want the United States to represent, you know, especially that's where we're from. That's where we live.
Sometimes we're on the charts. We're on the charts a lot, but
we want to climb all the way to the top.
Yeah, we want to be number 1 in all categories.
Number one. So hopefully we're number 1 in your guys' hearts. You know what I'm saying? That's all that really, really matters. But, you know, we want to represent on a large scale for you guys. So the higher we are, the more companies come after us and want to advertise. That generates more income so we can give back to you guys. So definitely appreciate it, y'all. So we're going to catch y'all next time. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all share it. Tell people about Loveology Podcast. It had Ludacris on it. And get ready for that bonus episode. It's coming in a couple of days. Stay connected. Peace out.
Bye. You've been listening to the Loveology Podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.